What is up, guys? It's your boy Rick Kakis, and today we have the guide for the all-new Edge of Fate DLC Legendary Difficulty Campaign. I'm going to be showcasing some incredible builds, weapons, and tactics that I used to overcome this challenge, as well as showcasing tips, tricks, and, in this case, a ton of puzzle solutions. Now, obviously, that's going to apply to both the normal and the legendary campaign, but this one was full of it. Some of them were pretty confusing, so I thought I would go over the hardest ones. Not to mention, beating the legendary campaign is actually the only way to unlock the new exotic armor piece for the class you beat it on. And so, let's get started. Now, first off, in terms of the builds and the weapons we found effective, honestly, I put out a video the day before this DLC went live, going over my recommended builds, and we used exactly that. I was playing a Titan, and I started out on the Consecration build. That is still extremely effective. If you want to use that the entire Legendary campaign, you're going to be fine. I did switch off of it, however, simply because of how the Kepler destination is designed. I found it kind of annoying to have to constantly go around consecrating stuff. There was a lot of, verticality and weird ledges and locations. I just ended up switching over to the kind of Titan ability spam prismatic build. So we are using Spirit of Inmost Light for the regen plus Spirit of Contact, and we are just using a powerful stasis grenade, plus we are using shield throw, and shield throw plus Spirit of Contact is actually nuts. Like, you're adding jolt to this shield that's bouncing around 50 enemies and giving you an overshield. It was just very good at crowd control, very good at dealing with the adds, which is really the main thing here. There was a decent amount of adds and up to mini bosses. The bosses weren't actually that insane of damage sponges, so when we go over the weapons, those will pretty much have you covered in terms of those bosses, but there's a lot of adds you need to deal with, and the Fallen in this location have been updated. They have some different weaponry and stuff like that, so they will be CCing you. There's Stasis and Strand Fallen, so if you're not on top of them, you will get suspended, you will get frozen, and it can lead to a bad time. But moving on to our Warlock, the entire time my teammate used the Prismatic Lightning Surge build. Basically, it's the Consecration Titan on a Warlock. You're using Arcane Needles for 3 melee charges, Feed the Void for survivability, plus Lightning Surge so that you can slide and then melee everyone around you in a big area, jolt everyone. It is fantastic. You can see the fragment choices right here, as well as some potential armor mods. And in terms of that exotic class item, guys, you're going with Spirit of Inmost Light plus Spirit of Syntheseps. Now, as for our Hunter, again, the entire time they were using the Prismatic Ascension build. Now, this is obviously based on the Ascension fragment. Use your class ability while in midair, jolt everyone around you, go invisible with Stylish Executioner, and a big change happened with the launch of the Edge of Fate, and that is Ascension actually counts as using your class ability for a lot of different effects, and one of those effects is going to be Spirit of Inmost Light. So we're not using the exotic chest piece associated with Ascension that a lot of people were using before. You can still use that, it's going to be amazing, but Spirit of Inmost Light plus Spirit of the Sarachne, the one that gives you Woven Mail for using your grenade, means that you are going to be able to spam all of your abilities non-stop, constantly going invisible, and you're going to have incredible damage resistance because you're using your incredibly fast recharging grappling hooks so darn much and getting Woven Mail every time you do. I want to point out one of the big reasons, guys, we're all using Prismatic is that all of the exotic class items are instantly upgraded to Armor 3.0. So as you can see, you get like 70 free stats right off the bat, guys. And therefore, I mean, you're probably going into this expansion with, 100 discipline, 100 here and there for different stats. Now you're going to get above 100. Sometimes you luck out and get 30 extra melee when you already had 100 strength. Now your melee is going to be doing bonus damage and stuff. So again, you don't have to farm for a new class item. if you use Prismatic, you just get those extra stats right away. Big advantage. So in terms of our weaponry, guys, honestly, what myself and my teammate ended up rocking like the entire time was the brand new 3rd iteration exotic scout rifle. This is the Seasons Pass exotic, so if you have access to the Seasons Pass, you can claim this immediately at level 1 in that premium tier, and this just does a crazy amount of damage for a primary. You aim down sights, you wait for the reticle to tighten, and then when you shoot a target, you mark it, and follow-up shots just crank. Now, you are in for a pretty long reload in a bit, but again, for a primary weapon, how much damage it's able to dish out is kind of crazy. And on top of that, it was just the Tinashe's mastery, guys. Just a fantastic crowd controlling weapon, being able to slow and freeze targets. And then I was using the Versus Chill inhibitor as my heavy. So this was the one given away by the gunsmith. So a lot of people do have this. Just an incredible DPS oriented heavy weapon, because my abilities are going to be able to handle all the adds, so my weapons can handle the bosses. With this, and my teammates were using pretty similar setups, right? Like with this, we were able to take pretty much everything down, no problem. Even though, again, our builds are much more oriented around crowd control, the bosses were not really a problem in this campaign. They were not as bullet spongy as I think a lot of us expected. Alright, keeping that in mind, let's move on to the campaign itself. And the one thing I want to say overall is that this campaign is less linear than other campaigns. Often, you're going to actually get to choose between multiple different main missions. You can do one before the other, right? And also, you'll complete a mission, and then you're just kind of dropped off on Kepler. At this point, you can continue with the main story, or you can go and do side quests. So, obviously, we are really focusing on that main story. Now, in terms of the puzzles, this is going to be the main thing people have trouble with. Honestly, there are 4 main mechanics on Kepler. First of all, you have Matter Spark. It's when you turn into a ball. And this is the first one you're going to unlock, and really you're just looking for those objects on the ground that can turn you into the Matter Spark, and also looking for the tunnel entrances, right? You're always going to have these 2 things contained in roughly the same area. Later on, you're going to have to be using the other Kepler mechanics to get to, where you can turn into the Matter Spark. Maybe you've already seen the tunnel, but yeah, and you can also see one of the main things you are doing is that you are powering up these things right here with your Matter Spark. Keep in mind, you can also damage enemies with your Matter Spark as well, so you don't have to get out of it every single time you see an ad. The very first big boss you're going to fight has a lot of Matter Spark in the boss fight. This is something that you're going to encounter a lot, guys. So you're going to have to be turning into the Matter Spark, going around the boss arena, charging up these objects to lower bosses' shields and stuff like that. And you can see a lot of that in the background gameplay. Now, soon after that, the next thing you're technically going to unlock is Rosetta. As you can see right here, this is the ability to read the Kepler alien language, and it's not really much. It's just you interact with these things right here, and it unlocks a quest step, it unlocks a way forward. Sometimes, guys, you will have to shoot these fallen objects with a blinking yellow light on the top, or kill an enemy guarding these Rosetta objects to let you interact with them. Like if you go to those Rosetta objects, they always have the same 3 screens, and you'll go to them and sometimes you just can't interact with them. Usually you're gonna have to destroy something or what have you to be able to interact with them. So that's a clue of what to do there. But we now get to a puzzle solution I wanted to share for the Exile's Accord Strangelet quest. You're going to be in this area right here, and there's going to be a ton of ads around here, but some of them will be dropping these arc objects. I just want to point out that you have to grab the conductive charges and physically stand next to these objects. Then you're going to have to, kill a bunch of enemies here, and eventually you're going to have to go into this area and shoot this object. Now, shooting these objects is going to be very common throughout this entire campaign, and that is going to essentially lower a barrier, right? So if a barrier is blocking where you need to go, generally you're going around looking for those like rotating objects to shoot to be able to, you know, go and use your matter spark and get to, in this case, this middle area, which is going to allow you to fight more enemies, get more of those conductive charges, and charge up this other object right here. Now, this is also when you're introduced to the relocator cannon mechanic. So you pick it up right here and you need to shoot outside of this window to hit this circular object, and then you can stand on the object on the ground to teleport to where you just shot, guys. And there's another puzzle near the end of Exile's Accord Strangelet where you shoot the relocator cannon, but the area you need to step on is guarded by a shield, and the shield is taken down by powering the matter spark object. So you actually just have to go back and interact with these lasers to disable them. Then you can go back, grab matter spark, power that up, and continue forward, guys. Now, moving on from there, we get to the mission Transient, and here we have a bit of a tricky puzzle. You're going to get another relocator cannon, and what you need to do is you're going to need to like shoot inside this hole. That is going to let you go in here, and then you're going to have to go up each side in your matter ball to activate these chargeable fallen objects. So again, it's the continuation of use your relocator cannon to unlock the matter spark, which then lets you unlock the objective. You're using one mechanic to unlock the other mechanic, etc. Now, moving on from there, guys, we continue with this quest. Eventually, you're going to get to this area right here where you are killing ads. They're dropping these objects that you have to throw at the glowing like fuel cells. Just want to point out that right next to where you turn into a matter spark, you fall down here to go into this like secret passageway and continue with the mission. Now, I want to point this out because it's a good indicator of where you're supposed to go in the matter spark. Sometimes it's confusing, but the entrances to these tunnels are often completely covered in the dark matter, right? Like in this like fungus type greenish thing. It's going to be all over where this tunnel entrance is, and that's a good indication of that's where you need to go. Now, moving on from there, guys, for the mission Saturnism. For this one, as soon as you go through the train, it can be a bit complicated. So you want to head up. It's the one offshoot that's actually going up. And as you can see, when you head up here, you're going to have the thing that turns you into a matter spark. You're going to follow the route, as you can see the background gameplay, and that will lead you to the relocator cannon. And then you're going to have to destroy this thing, use the relocator cannon to shoot down through one of these like grates that you can see the relocation device through, and that's going to get you through. Now, right after that, guys, you're actually going to be upgrading your relocator cannon to the second tier. All of these upgrades are going to be happening in the campaign. You don't have to go anywhere to unlock these upgrades. It's going to force you to do that as part of the campaign. So as you can see, you kind of put your relocator cannon in here, you charge it up, and now it's going to be able to bounce between these objects. So the yellow glowing one, as you can see, is the one that you can shoot and change the direction that it will send the relocation beam after it's hit. So you want to shoot it to line it up with one of these blue glowing objects, usually a lot smaller, and so it will hit the yellow one and continue forward on this path, as you can see, which will let you go forward. Moving on from there, this section right here on the Saturnism mission is one I think people are going to have trouble with. So you have to go into 3 different rooms to kill these giant shanks, and they're going to drop the graviton cluster charge that you need to do the objective. So how to get into the first room? You actually need to drop underneath here, go forward, and come back up. That is not immediately evident, guys. Now, once you've gotten that one, the next room, you simply head off to the left. There's like a different opening that's opened up, as you can see. Head in there, and that's going to get you to the second room. Now, the third room is the most tricky. So head over to the back here and you're going to grab a relocator cannon, guys. And then you're going to need to change that yellow object to face upwards. You're going to shoot the relocator cannon. It's going to bounce all the way up near the lasers. You head in. By the way, don't head in all together. As you can see, we actually had a teammate die. We couldn't revive them because they're stuck in the laser. But if you are not getting into trouble like that, you can simply head down here and get the final cluster charge, guys. Now moving on, you have a bit of a tricky section when you get to the mission Gouge. So you have these like giant pipes right here, guys, and what you need to actually do is that you need to grab the relocator cannon and you want to head inside this pipe. As you can see right here, that is going to let you shoot through the grate and hit this one teleporter, go back over here, and then you're going to be able to move in here, grab your matter spark, and then head around here to continue with this mission, guys. And then one last thing as you're ending the Gouge mission, just want to point out that these servitors right here, you have to take down their immunity shields. And it's not super evident what you're supposed to do. You actually just need to trap them in these kind of slightly red glowing rooms. As you can see, as soon as they go in, they're going to have their shields destroyed and then you can kill them. So just keep that in mind. And moving on from there, guys, we're going to get to the Central Academy Strangelet. So here you have this section where you just have a bunch of different objects that can ping the relocator cannon blast between them. So once you kill the servitor, you just have to line up like multiple of these rotating objects, and you can kind of see the solution we make right here. It has to bounce all the way inside this door. But as you can see, after a lot of bouncing, it actually doesn't light up the relocator pad. That's because it's actually lighting up a different one. So you just shoot through these lasers right here. That lights up the relocator pad. You teleport through there, and then from this new area, you shoot the bounce, and then it does the crazy bounce, and it lights up the relocator pad in that room. You take that to the next location, and then you go forward from there. There's going to be some matter sparking as well. Again, you can see it in the background gameplay. Now, after that, it's just more matter balling, and then things are pretty standard. Until we get to this section here. Now, I want to point this out, guys, because this section here, this boss fight right here, it has a very kind of tricky area you're supposed to go when it comes to the matter ball. So you're going to damage the boss, and then the immunity shield is going to go up. Then you're going to have to destroy these Vex objects, and you're going to have to go inside the ground right here. Like, it's just one that you can easily miss. Just want to point out. Then you're going to have to like travel. And again, it kind of is a bit weird when you're supposed to get out. There's nothing really obvious. Basically, it's just that the lattice on top ends, and then you can go out of the matter ball and jump up here to destroy these objects and continue forward. There's another one I'm showing you right here on the other side as well. Now moving on from there, guys, in the Commencement mission, we have a puzzle right off the bat where you're dodging lasers and so on. I'm going to show you the solution in the background gameplay. Now, later in the mission, if you're used to charging the fallen objects up with your matter spark, you're going to do the same with these Vex objects right here. I just want to mention it because it's going to come up again and again. After that, guys, in the mission Morphology, you are finally going to unlock the final Kepler mechanic, which is matter realignment. So you're going to interact with these like masses of dark matter, goop, fungus, whatever they are. Then it is going to replace your melee with a melee that will suspend targets you throw it at, just saying. So it can be used offensively, but when you hit these like glowing items around the world, it will change and often like form bridges, form new passageways, allowing you to complete these missions, guys, as you can see in the background gameplay. So we then get to the mission Charge, and here we kind of have every single mechanic coming together. There's parts where you have to, use your matter spark to get into this small hole which comes out the other side. That is going to let you in here to this room, and this room is particularly tricky. The first hole you need to go to with your matter spark is this one right here, and it is going to let you go all the way through and interact with this chargeable object at the end. But the second one, again, is extremely hard to find. You actually need to jump up on these like boxes right here. That is going to actually let you go through your matter spark passageway and get all the way through to progress this mission. So yeah, that's one definitely took us by surprise how complex it was. After that, guys, you're going to run forward. You get some more matter weave or matter realignment where you have to time it right with other abilities. So essentially, you need to be hitting this object with the relocator cannon, and also you still need to have the realignment so you can go on this bridge you create to get there in time to go inside your relocator cannon charge, as you can see right here, that lets you go forward. Now, after that, you're going to be fighting some Briggs using your matter spark charging stuff. Nothing too complex until you get to this section here. The first thing you're going to notice in this section here is that when you kill this big boss, it drops an arc charge, but you don't really see where to go. Well, there's a nearby matter realignment. You have to hit these rocks here, and that is actually going to open up the actual objective you need to plant on. After that, guys, the relocator cannon is located inside this building, like up above on the second level. Bit of a tricky one to see there. And once you get that, guys, you're going to want to charge this object like outside and use your relocator cannon to shoot inside through these lasers, but you're gonna need to shoot this object like inside the building, and just make sure you've aligned the yellow object that's near the matter realignment interactable. That is going to let you kind of go through here. You get inside, and that lets you make your journey in matter spark. You can see I'm going over the matter realigned bridges like my teammates through that matter realignment in time. If you're solo, you're gonna have to like hit the relocator cannon, go in there yourself, and go like pretty quickly to get everything done in time before the matter realignment wears out, guys. And in the final boss fight of the charge mission, you're also going to be getting those arc charges. Remember, again, you need to use the matter realignment to create the bridges in the air that will expose the objects you need to plant those arc charges in. They're not immediately evident. Now, moving on from there, in the Gorge Strangelet quest here, guys, you do have a somewhat complex puzzle as you're going through here. I'm going to be doing my best to show it in the background gameplay. Eventually, you get to this big area here where there's a ton of Vex, but after you kill them, guys, is when you're gonna have to matter spark out of here, and you're gonna want to head through this particular tunnel, which is not that obvious. Then you're gonna need to also use matter spark to gain your exit out of here, as you can see, guys. Then in the mission Disruption, right away we have another puzzle. So you can see I am using matter spark right here to find my way through this kind of secret tunnel to the realignment that's located right here. I use it to push back all of these wall sections, and I can continue forward right there. So I just want to show that puzzle as well. Next up, you have some big shielded minotaurs. How do you deal with them? Well, you actually need to go and jump up this kind of red vent, this red hole in the ceiling. That is going to lead to a matter spark object. You turn into the matter spark and go down this vent kind of right beside it, and that is going to lead you all the way like past those minotaurs to the object right here you need to interact with, and then you can rally the flag and go from there. After that, you have this big boss fight where you're gonna have to do quite a lot of things. So you are using your matter realignment, which is kind of like just in the middle of this arena, to hit these rocks, which is going to let you jump up them and shoot these like Vex squares. And then when you do it on one side of the arena, you're gonna have to go to the other side of the arena and do the same thing. So after you've done that, after you're done the mission, but in the continuation of the Gorge Strangelet quest, you're actually going to upgrade your Matter Spark and unlock the ability to do a Matter Spark Super. So you have to charge it up, and you can help charge it by attacking enemies or by picking up these like glowing wisp objects on the ground. As you can see, that will give you big chunks of super energy, and then when it's charged, you press your super button and a blast of energy will emulate from you. This blast is needed to lower the immunity shields of the nearby goblins, and you know, going forward in the campaign, you're gonna have to lower a lot of shields with this Matter Spark super ability. You're gonna face off against another boss. This time it's gonna be doing the thing where you have to collect the little kind of glowing spheres on the ground to charge up your Matter Spark super. Use your super to take down the immunity shields, guys. Now, after that, in this section here of the mission Calculus, you're gonna have to use those Matter Spark supers on these planetary piston hammer looking things off in the corners, like right here. So where you turn into a Matter Spark, like if you follow the trajectory, the path near there, you're gonna go over those little wisps that give you like the super energy. But after that, guys, once you do that, you're actually going to need to use those Matter Spark supers on the bosses themselves. So you need to get like close enough, jump, and get that super off, and then quickly get away before you're shot out of your Matter Spark. Moving on from there, guys, in this part of the quarantine mission, just want to point out a little bit of a tricky thing. You use the realignment to realign these balls, basically, and inside the balls are the things you need to shoot. So just kind of not that obvious, to be honest. Now, after that, still in quarantine, we have a section where you have to realign a bunch of different objects to get a proper relocator cannon shot. You can see where we end up realigning them right here. I'm just going to let you watch the background gameplay. And we have to realign 2 of them in the right order to be able to get through here, as you can see. Now, after that, guys, we are going to get another boss fight that kind of uses even more crazy mechanics. This one, if you played the, Curse of Osiris strike boss, you remember this guy, but you're going to have to lower his shield by going and hitting that planetary piston hammer. As you can see right here, lowers the first shield, then have to go over to another section, get your super, get that Matter Spark back, and you're gonna have to lower the Vex's shields to continue forward. And again, you can see that in the background gameplay. So just be very careful that there's 2 giant Cyclops boss heads. The second one shoots a like black hole that does a bajillion damage and will absolutely one-shot you. After that, guys, in the Criticality mission, just want to point out a Matter Ball solution right here. You actually need to jump up on these objects against the wall to get enough height to reach the pipe, which will continue forward with the Matter Ball track leading to where you need to go. You'll also need the realignment to set a bridge, and you'll see me cross it when it's glowing in the background gameplay. After that, you are doing some more mechanics. I'm going to show you in the background gameplay just some of the solutions to some of that stuff. It's mainly just finding and shooting these like kind of fallen and vex objects that will unlock the ability to shoot the stuff behind immunity shields, basically. Now, you also have a boss fight in this mission where you're going to have to destroy these shielded objects, but to lower the shields, you need to go into Matterspark near the front of the arena and use those Matterspark supers to lower the immunity shields on the goblins. Killing the goblins will lower the other immunity shields, which will let you destroy the fallen objects. Once all of them are destroyed, the immunity shield of the boss will go down. Now, moving on from there, guys, in the mission, The Message, we do have a pretty complex puzzle right here. I'm going to show you the solution, the background gameplay. Essentially, you got to be careful to teleport right off the bat because you'll just fall to your death. As you can see, there's an alternate route you actually need to go. So where the relocator cannon is, go into Matterspark and go underneath, and as you can see, there's a tunnel that leads you into a new room, like this room in the middle of that relocator process. Now here, there's going to be a Vex object you need to shoot. So hop up near the top of this room, and as you can see, it's in the back corner. Once you shoot it, that will actually build a platform. So instead of falling to your death, you're gonna head with Matterspark all the way back to where that relocator cannon is. Then you shoot it, you go through the teleporter, and you'll land on a platform where there is a realignment. You grab the realignment to not only escape this room, but also use it on the rocks to continue forward with this mission. Then we've got another pretty complex puzzle right here where you are getting past these lasers by essentially making this jump like in the right order and then going back to get the realignment and going there to change the realignment. So kind of just going back and forth with that relocator cannon plus the realignment. And then we have a huge boss fight right here in The Message. Again, pretty complex one where you have to use the realignment to make these bridges up to the side where you can get the relocator cannon to shoot these objects right here. You can see it bounce around the arena. Once you do bounce all the way around, then you go into this relocator portal and it takes you right here where you grab the cranium, right? Then you take the cranium and go up those paths that you made with the realignment, and there you use the cranium to break the Vex squares, and that's how you lower the immunity shield. So once you do the damage to the boss, there's going to be another one of these puzzles, just like a different version of that, as you can see, doing it again right here. So again, you're going to have to get that relocator cannon, bounce it all around. Once you open up that teleportation portal, you go in, get the cranium, and go up the kind of new paths that you made with the realignment to hit those Vex objects to take down the immunity shield. After that, we have another tricky section where you get to this area here, you have your Matterspark, but as you can see, the route you need to take is up this ramp, but eventually you get to a part where the bridge just kind of falls out from underneath you. So what you're going to need to do is get the realignment to make that bridge for you. Now, where is it? Well, as you can see, you use the Matter Spark to head over to this area here. And then you're going to activate this object that is going to cause a door to open. Enemies are going to come out of that door, and inside you have your realignment. So I just got my teammate to hit that bridge and make it when I was going through, and that will get you through to the next area. Then you get to this section here again in the message, pretty complex one. Essentially, you need to go and find the matter realignment to get the pipes out of the way. And you can see in the background gameplay what we do. You go to this area right here, you need to Matter Spark and then fall down on this moving object right here, let it carry you to the other side. That is going to be what you need to get your realignment, get out of there. And then you're going to be using the relocator cannon to kind of move from section to section to section. And you can see all of that solved in the background gameplay here, guys. Eventually, it'll get you out of there and into another boss fight, more mechanics. If you want to know what to do here, you're going to go to the back of the arena and destroy these kind of two objects. Doing so will get rid of lasers that will allow you to Matter Spark through this hole right here, get to the middle, charge this object. That'll open it up, and then you need to go to the man cannon, which is going to shoot you at the boss, and do your super right at the boss to lower its shields, guys. Now, moving on from there, the final part of the message, we do have a bit of a traversal section for sure. After you kill these ads, guys, you're gonna go like under the catch, and you actually need to double jump with your matter ball. So that's right, you in my case I jumped and then pressed right click, so you have unlocked another matter ball thing. And that is going to be what you need to get through this like spinning wheel for sure. And then once you do, guys, you're going to get into this section of the catch. You have a little bit more matter balling right here, but nothing too crazy. In the boss fight though, in this like final boss fight, the first part of it is going to have you destroying objects to lower immunity shields. You have to go into Matter Spark and go through these small passageways that will lead over to the object you need to charge with your Matter Spark to be able to progress. And then we get to the actual final boss fight. You are going to actually need to, again, utilize that double jump. You need to get your Matter Ball, jump off to the side once you're charged up with your super, and then use the man cannons to, again, release your Matter Ball super in midair at the servitors to lower their shields, which is going to let you lower the immunity shield of the boss so you can actually take him down, guys. And again, you can see that all in the background gameplay. Whew. Very, very mechanic and puzzle heavy campaign. Certainly, guys, this is going to have the community divided. Some people really like this stuff, like they like being challenged, they like having to, you know, sit there and think, well, how do I get through that, how do I solve this? Other people just want to blast through, and you know, I've seen a lot of complaints already about Matter Spark. People just don't like it. Other people think it's unique. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comment section down below. Guys, that is it for the video. Hope you enjoyed and found this informative. If you did, please remember to help me out by simply rating and especially sharing this video. If you guys want to see more Destiny 2 content similar to this, don't be afraid to slap that subscribe button. If you want to get in touch with me and keep up to date with the latest channel activity, the best way is to follow me on Twitter at RickCacus. That is linked in the description down below. Again, I hope you enjoyed the video, and as always, have a good day.